talking points memo is about Putin's madness. Now, I made a lot of headlines all over the world by saying flat out, I believe that Vladimir Putin is mentally ill. And that's the reason that Trump got fooled and campaigned, I'll solve the Ukraine war on day one. You remember all that. Because in the first 4 years of Trump's presidency, Putin was at least somewhat rational. It's gone. And my book, Confronting Evil, comes out September 9th. You'll see almost every single one of these heinous mass murderers in the book. They didn't start out absolutely insane, but that's how they ended up. And I believe that Vladimir Putin is in that category. So after going to Alaska, where he was greeted as an equal by President Trump, Putin has not relented one bit. Okay? So it's Wednesday. On Monday, he killed and a bunch of people in Kharkiv, including a family with toddler, 16-year-old boy, 23 injured there. Another southeastern attack, another 23 wounded. The Ukrainian Air Force says 25 locations were hit by Russian drones and military. Ukrainian Air Force also says that 270 drones, 10 missiles were launched into Ukraine by Putin. So he's obviously not stopping. He's not pausing. He didn't pause even when he was in Alaska. What kind of is that? What is that? Okay? If you really want to get a peace deal, if you really want to get a compromise on issues, and Trump is willing to compromise, all right, you don't keep bombing and killing women and children. But Putin likes it. He enjoys that. Okay? He enjoys bringing terror into the hearts of what he perceives as an enemy. And Ukraine is not an enemy of Russia. Ukraine can't do anything to Russia. NATO would never invade Russia. And it rankles me, and I will call them out, any Americans who say, hey, Putin's got a legitimate beef here. Anybody does that, you're going to come up against me, just like John Bolton did, because he hates Trump so much. His analysis is dishonest. Bolton pulled him back a little bit. I don't know whether you noticed him. He's still around, but he's not as hateful as he used to be. So I think we accomplished something there. Overall, civilian deaths, okay? And this is from the United Nations High Commissioner in Ukraine, closing in on 36,000 innocent people. Injuries, I think this is a low number myself, 14,000. Total almost 50,000 hurt by Putin. For what? For what? Ukraine's no danger to you, all right? Even if you get Ukrainian territory, it doesn't do you any good. None. Ridiculous. President Trump has canceled his vacation to Bedminster, where he has a club in New Jersey to try to work this out. There is a rumor that Zelensky and Putin might meet. That's a total waste of time. Putin doesn't respect Zelensky. He's going to go out like a peacock and, okay. You want another spectacle? Fine, it's not going to lead anywhere. The only thing that's going to stop Putin is if Putin thinks that his own life is in danger. And the only way that could happen is if Trump slaps onerous economic sanctions on Russia and the people there begin to starve. And they'll kill Putin if that happens. His own people will kill him. His generals will kill him. We can't kill him because he has nukes, and he'll use those nukes. Putin's mad enough to use them. So just keep that in mind. We're not dealing with a person here got any compunction about wiping out 100,000 people in Kyiv. He'd send a nuke to Kyiv. Absolutely convinced he would. Again, I will back up everything I say in the book coming out September 9th, Confronting Evil. And we do expect here that President Trump will put major sanctions on Russia soon. That's the memo. Inside the United States, we could not find one Democrat praising Donald Trump's attempt to bring peace in Ukraine. Not one in an elective office. So I'm doing a YouTube commentary, which has exploded worldwide now. We're very proud of it. It's youtube.com/BillO'Reilly. It'll be posted tomorrow. Right now on the YouTube ban, we have the disintegration of the Democratic Party in America. But tomorrow will be a very specific commentary about sedition, about how the opposing party in the United States, the Democrats, some of them are being seditious. And I'll explain what sedition is and all that. But I'm going to give you a preview. Here's what Senator Ted Cruz said. Go.
They don't want peace, and that is sad. We should all want peace in Ukraine. I believe we're going to see that, and I think President Trump is doing everything humanly possible to achieve that peace, and not a single Democrat is cheering him on. They're all rooting for America to fail. That's really sad.
And what Cruz says is true. It's absolutely true, and we'll back it up. We'll prove it. We've researched it and everything else. Again, that's on YouTube. We will post that tomorrow. You know what drives me crazy, and this is true, how our healthcare system makes it so hard and so expensive to get the medicines we all need. Insurance companies tell your doctor what to do. Pharmacies sometimes refuse to fill valid prescriptions, and good luck getting the treatments you actually want in person. Finally, someone stepping up. All Family Pharmacy is a family-owned business that puts people first and believes in medical freedom. They are changing how Americans can get fast, affordable access to trusted medications. You go online, you choose from more than 200 options. A doctor reviews your order, what you want, writes the prescription right there, and your meds are sent straight to your home door. That's a great system. It's smart. It's about time. Please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use code BILL10 to save 10%. Joining us now from Washington is Jen Pellegrino, the chief spokesperson for America First Policy Institute, AFPI. She used to be an intern on the O'Reilly Factor. Look, another success story, Jen. You see?
That's right, Bill. Listen, I was a college student watching your program, thanks to my mom and dad who were loyal followers. And it was unusual back then to be of that. It still is now on some college campuses, but I think things are changing, especially with this president. So it's great to be back with you and to be able to talk about this today.
Well, look, I always tell everybody, you get through me, whether you're an intern or producer or whatever. It's like the Navy SEALs. I mean, you got sure O'Reilly Factor on your resume or No Spin News. People know that you can do the job because we don't fool around. All right, first of all, tell me exactly what America First Policy Institute is.
Well, we stand for policies, very simply, Bill, that put the American people first. It's all getting back to common sense, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on. Looking at policies that are fair. When you speak about our college campuses, having diverse viewpoints. When you look at what's going on in sports, making sure men are men and women are women, and there aren't men in women's locker rooms. Things that I think a lot of people can understand and get on board with when it comes to securing our borders, issues that were top priority in our election. Things of that nature are what the America First Policy Institute focuses on. And we're bringing on board a lot of people who may say, you know what, I'm not maybe following a certain president or somebody, but I can get on board with some of these policies. And we find that overwhelmingly, even 100 days into this administration, the majority of Americans are in support of those policies.
Would you say you're conservative?
I wouldn't say we're conservative or liberal. I say we're in the middle, somewhere in the range of common sense.
All right. So you got Kudlow, who does economics for you. Brooke Rollins, they're both conservatives. I don't see any liberals on a sheet, Jen. So I'm going to assume that AFPI leans right. Now, did you guys endorse Donald Trump?
We do not endorse a candidate. We're a nonprofit C3 institution, so we don't endorse candidates. Okay. We're here to support those that advance America First policies.
Why don't you put out your donor list?
Well, Bill, that's something that our development team holds secure. We don't put that out. We don't take money from corporations. I will tell you that. There are other institutions in this town that do. We only take from private donors, so we keep that secure and private to those individuals.
All right, but you might have a discussion about that. All right. Now, how would you assess the nation's colleges? Because I get tons of letters from very worried parents and grandparents who are sending their high schoolers to college and they think they're going to get indoctrinated. And I have to say, it's a legitimate concern. My old college, Marist in Poughkeepsie, New York, used to be a working class school. all right, that didn't have an ideology, then it went woke. And I'm going, what? What? How do you assess it? Is it 75% woke or 50-50? What is it?
You know, I couldn't put a number on it, Bill, but I would say it's probably happening on most college campuses around this country. I went to school in the South, University of South Carolina. Not as big of an issue as some universities like Cornell or Harvard when it comes to the balance of voices. But I think, there's a level of it in just about every college campus right now. And I think it is something very concerning to parents, to students that are looking at colleges saying, what am I going to be dealing with it? If I'm of Jewish background, am I going to feel safe going to my classes? Is there going to be an issue if I wear a MAGA hat to one of my classes? So I think there needs to be more balance in viewpoints and conversations and allowing debate, which hasn't been going on for some time, much like we've seen, as you outlined, in the media.
Does your organization have a list of colleges that it likes, that if somebody calls you and says, gee, what is the America First Policy Institute? Do they have schools that they, say are doing a good job in this area?
I think there are some institutions that are doing better than others. I will say, we've looked at universities like Cornell, who have obviously had some, DEI practices that continue to this day. We issued a formal complaint asking for the federal government to investigate some of the work that they've done illegally in terms of, providing
give me one example
for certain hiring.
Give me one example about Cornell. What are they doing wrong?
So Cornell, one example, $50,000 incentive for hiring of a certain racial background with their medical degree.
Who gets the $50K?
So wanting to bring on faculty with a certain racial background, 50 grand.
Who gets the $50K?
The person who referred them.
So if I refer Juan Williams to Cornell and he gets hired, I get $50,000?
If you work for the university.
Oh, you have to work for the university. Because I'd send Juan up there in a heartbeat for $50K. I mean, he could just get right on a train and go to Cornell. Okay, so that's pretty outrageous. And Harvard, my alma mater, I have a master's degree. They have 72% hiring of liberals, professors. I think it's even higher than that now. But it's outrageous. I mean, how they stack the deck against the student. Now, last question for you. If anybody wants to help the America First Policy Institute, they can go to your website and they can see what's going on. Do you believe that your pressure, has led to anything positive? I mean, or is it all Trump? See, Trump is the guy that's hammering these schools, particularly Harvard. It's a blood feud. But you're not quite as militant as Trump. But have you changed any minds?
I think we have, Bill. I would say that we're very much in alignment with the president, again, being the America First Policy Institute. America First is something this president speaks about a lot. A lot of that work that we did prior to the election and handed over to the campaign, a lot of that work has been implemented now in what the president has done. So we provide a lot of guidance, suggestion, research for the administration. And they take and put that into place. So credit is due to this administration, not to us. We're just some of the brains and experts behind the scenes here.
All right, Jen, very good. I'm glad we could, in a small way, contribute to your success, and I hope we can talk again soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, Wall Street Journal, they're in a lawsuit with Trump now. You know all about that. But I still read this paper every day because it has some very good things in it. So I got a lot of mail about Gaza, is Israel the oppressor, all of this kind of stuff. It's impossible to really analyze what's going on over there, even as somebody like me. We have very good contacts because there's no reporting out of Gaza. It's like Russia, very hard to get anything out of there, all right? You can't, as a reporter, go into Gaza. It's too dangerous. So the only reporting you get is from the Hamas side, propaganda, and the Israeli side, propaganda. You don't get any objective situations. Well, over the weekend, Solomon, what's her name now? Feliz Solomon, woman, all right, writes an article that I thought was excellent. I'll just give you a little portion of it. Quote, the World Food Program says almost 95% of its trucks entering the Gaza Strip are looted before they reach their destination. Says the only solution is to flood the enclave with food until scarcity no longer drives civilians to risk their lives for a bag of flour, or provides an opportunity for militants and criminals to exploit their desperation. So I believe that is true. That food, as soon as it gets into Gaza, is stolen. The people are overwhelmed because Hamas and the gangsters have the guns. And then as the article continues, they sell the food, the criminals and the terrorists, at way inflated prices. Now, what is Israel supposed to do about that? What? I guess they could go in, and I think this has happened, and guard the trucks, but then when the people surge to try to get the food, then the Israeli army has to push them back violently. So this is a really, really terrible, terrible situation. As long as you have Hamas, terrorists will do anything, controlling that area, you're going to have stuff like this. That's it. If you are stressed about back taxes and maybe missed the April deadline, or your books are a mess, act now. Because the IRS is cracking down and penalties are up to 25% just for not filing. Tax Network USA has helped thousands of Americans lift that burden. And they can help you, whether you are an employee, small business owner, or haven't filed in years. They have seen it all and know exactly how to clean it up. Tax Network USA's expert negotiators have direct access to powerful IRS programs, and they know how to win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they will help you reduce or eliminate what you owe. Plus, they'll protect you from wage garnishments and bank levies. So please don't wait. 800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/bill. That's tnusa.com/bill. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting some breathing room. It is possible when you call American Financing. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, you're not alone. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off debt. Please call American Financing today before the problem gets worse. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. Their customers save an average of $800 a month. It's fast, simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Please call now before it's too late. American Financing, 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. AmericanFinancing.net/bill. Okay, final thought of the day, Kamala Harris. I was wrong. I thought she'd run for governor of California. I think she would have won if she had done that. And I was surprised. I said, well, you know, she's a fairly young woman. Why do you not, if you believe in yourself and you believe that your ideas are good for the folks, why do you want to sit it out? It's like nothing else there. I mean, maybe she'll be appointed something if there's a Democrat wins next time around. But anyway, I was wrong. She says she's not going to run for governor of California. Now, why not? If you watch the YouTube analysis, okay, that I'm going to do on Colbert and Kamala, it is clear that this woman has no self-confidence at all. That's why she can't speak. She's not dumb. I mean, that's not it. She just doesn't have any, and she doesn't want to be in a situation where she is under scrutiny. He doesn't want that. And I think that overrides her political ambitions. I'm playing amateur psychiatrist here, I know, but I'm looking at the landscape, and she got 76 million votes, something like that. Trump got 80. You hang it up? So it's got to be personal. That's my assessment. And then she was asked about who the leader of the Democratic Party was by Colbert. Now, there is no leader. We all know that. I mean, if there was, then everybody would be covering that person. A bunch of people who want to be the leader of the Democratic Party. You got Wes Moore in Maryland, he's the governor there. The governor of Kentucky, Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, Gavin Newsom, who's the most ambitious of all of them. You got the governor of Illinois. You got a lot of these guys, and they're all going to kind of figure it out. Got to raise a lot of money, and, there is going to be a change in the Democratic Party. And the party can't continue to be radical left. It can't. The American people have basically sent a message that we don't want this madness. We don't. And unless the Democratic Party goes back into the middle, it's just going to lose every election. People are worried about their midterms. Republicans are worried about the midterms. And I know the Trump administration is worried about it too, because if Democrats control either the Senate or the House, and Trump's going to have a lot of trouble getting his agenda passed. And that's not going to be ideology. That's going to be the economy. Okay? And that will settle in December. So we're not going to know. I don't know whether the tariffs are going to work, whether employment, we had a bad employment report. Now Trump wants to replace the Labor Department. Okay. I don't know. I don't. How could I possibly know? All right. But there's a good chance that all of this investment from the tariffs and all of these companies coming back will ignite a stronger economy. There's a good chance. If you bet against that, I mean, I don't know. But that is going to tell the tale in the midterms. It's not going to be ideology. It's going to be economy. And because Americans are worried. As I said, we got millions of people, senior citizens, who don't have enough money to pay for 1 hour with an attorney. My God. So these people are like this. But from my vantage point, I'm seeing a potential for a real economic run by the USA. China is the key, and I'm all over that. Watching that every day. Okay, so I hope the makeup and hair wasn't too bad today. If it was, you let me know. I'm going to have to do something about it. It's always something. As Rosanna Dano once said. Thank you for watching the No Spin News and listening on our radio stations across the country. See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.